Hello. This is a reading for Virgo, sun, rising, moon, whatever you want to do. Definitely your rising, though. Definitely that. Anyway, how are you? Um, I can imagine. Well, I'm a Virgo moon, so you know, but there's a lot that's going on in Pisces, which is obviously, like the sister sign to Virgo. So if you have any like natal placements in Virgo, like your sun, or even, of course your ascendant degree, then how is it going? Like Saturn's there. It's been there since I think last March. It'll be there until, is it 2025 or 2026? 2026. I believe so. Like it's no doubt, if it's like opposing your natal placements, then you're probably feeling something there. Who else is in? I think, oh, Neptune is in Pisces right now. It's at like the later degrees of Pisces, but for me personally, Pisces is my ninth house, Virgo is my third. Neptune is actually squaring my natal Neptune. Anyway, just curious how you guys are doing. Let's get you an oracle card. And then, of course, we'll get your tarot out and we'll start putting things together. Whoop. What do you feel? Emphasis on you. Interesting. It's that whole you can't compare apples to oranges thing, right? Even, I mean, what are they looking at? That's the Earth. I wasn't sure if that was the moon or what that was, but they're like kind of like, oh, looking at the Earth. Also, interestingly enough, neither one of these fruits is actually in their hand. This has Libra vibes, for one. It has like Two of Pentacles vibes. And I mean Libra in the sense of like scales. We'll read about that card after we get your tarot cards out. We have the Seven of Swords. How you doing? Oop. Okay. We don't take the cards that flip in the deck. We only take the cards that fall out. All of my decks and I have had that conversation. We agree on that. That's just how I do it. We have the King of Cups in the reverse, which is kind of interesting, seeing as the card that came out is how do you feel? We have the Two of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, one more. The Moon. And then Strength at the bottom of the deck. I always kind of chuckle when the moon comes out at the end of the reading. Strength at the bottom of the deck, Page of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Okay. And then the Two of Pentacles is back there too. So let me just make sure everything is in frame, and then of course we'll start talking about your reading. Okay. All right, so let's see what this oracle card is talking about. All right. Can you see that? It says, there are many opinions around you. Some are helpful, but others are distracting you from your truth. Although it can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others, when it all comes down to it, you will have to come to your own decisions. You will know do you know how unique you are? How your path is your path to be chosen, lived, and created only by you. Someone else cannot become the source of your decision-making power without negative repercussions for both of you in the long run. This oracle comes to you because you have become swept up in thinking things through. You have been thinking about which way to go, with a matter of importance and you have got a bit stuck in the logic of the decision making process. Sometimes we have to accept that any path is a path forward, and if it is not the best path, we can change our approach later on if needed. If we are slightly off base with a decision, life will often shift and move to guide us back on track. We don't have to be perfect. Virgo, let me read that again. We don't have to be perfect. In fact, there is rarely ever a perfect choice to be made, just some choices that feel more heart honoring than others. Sometimes we can only really know in hindsight if we made the best choice possible in that moment. At the time of decision making, we only really have our internal wisdom to rely on, and that is all that we need. The oracle of what do you feel is telling you there is no need to punish or traumatize yourself with possible choices. Just making a choice will set things in motion. The best way to catalyze the situation you are in and bring about healing change, stimulate your creative juices, and find more inspired, energized, and enjoyable approach to your life is to just make a choice based on what you feel right now, not based on anyone else's feelings, just yours. So ask yourself, what do I feel right now? And go from there. If you cannot relate to the need to make a choice between two or more clear alternatives, then the oracle brings you this message. You are at a crossroads in your journey, and the choices you make at this time, even simply choosing to do things a little differently without much drama associated with a decision, are powerful triggers for some great magic to enter your life. Take a different approach to something. Be open to that which makes you uncomfortable, but can be exciting and interesting. Even small adventures will yield big rewards right now. It matters less that you do the most wonderful thing ever, too much pressure, and more that you simply take an action from your heart. Open up to the creative magic of life and don't worry about how it is all going to work out. The bigger creative flow of life is sorting out all the details, and you are not immune to that plan. In fact, you are a natural part of it. So just spend some time with your own feelings and know that all is going to work out perfectly. I mean, like Virgo is like all about like, analyzing, and there is this perfectionist quality that I feel kind of comes with Virgo also. And sometimes, a lot of the times, most times, we get stuck in the fact that if something is not perfect, like if the timing isn't perfect, if we don't feel like the opportunity is perfect, then we're like, that can't possibly be the thing because it's not like this, right? So, um, what the book was, just talking about is doing it anyway, perfect or not, right? So we start with the Seven of Swords, which is exactly this is the card for me. Okay, so swords have to do with our thoughts, how we think them, ideas, inspiration, mindset, belief systems, how we communicate those things. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. We can feel it, of course, in our body, but we hear it in our mind. And our ego is created by the stories that we've attached to experiences, to feelings, and it becomes why we do things, why we don't do things. It's our identity. It is our belief system. It becomes our mindset, our temperament, right? So this Seven of Swords, we can see it looks like they're like hiding in a closet, right? It's like this calculating thing of like waiting for the right time for something. The Seven of Swords traditionally, on the traditional Seven of Swords, there's a figure that's like tiptoeing away from a camp, and they're carrying all these swords with them, right? So it speaks to manipulation, again, even a calculated risk, because what they're doing is handicapping their opponent. Because when they go to battle, their opponent is going to be down seven swords, so they can't. They're not apples to oranges, right? They're not on a even playing field. But again, that's for one, manipulating the thing. It's also a calculated risk, because if that person were to get caught in their enemy's camp, that would have not gone very well for them, right? I also see the Seven of Swords as being the card of us fooling ourselves. This is, again, like all of those stories, like the card was talking about, like it's believing that if things don't look a certain way, if we can't achieve a certain thing from them based on how we're thinking about it, right? It's not based on fact, because you don't know. You think you know based on, you know, your thoughts. I know this is going to happen, or I know this is not going to happen, because it's like, we think we can think our way through it, right? But until we actually take action towards a thing, we have no evidence that any of that is actually true. So I love that we start with the Seven of Swords, and I love how it even ties into the Oracle card. So it's paired with the Knight of Pentacles, which is this Virgo? Let me see. Okay. It's actually Taurus, but it's Earth. So Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. Where are we spending our physical time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's also even our physical health, our bodies. Anything that we place value on, anything that we place worth on, including ourselves, but our possessions, resources, right? And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the whole tarot. Well, out of the four knights, right? Because there's four knights, but they're the slowest moving ones. And I mean, we can see that, right? Because they're literally walking alongside their horse. They can even just be, recognizing the need for rest, because it's, this is your only resource for transportation at this point besides your own legs. And if your horse gets worn down, you're screwed. So so it could even be, and I haven't even ever put that together in that capacity, so that's got to be a message for somebody somewhere. But so they have this key around their neck there, and I thought I saw the Page of Pentacles, but maybe I didn't. The Page of Pentacles found this key. It's a key to something, right? The key to something that you need. And now, it's like the journey is now finding what that key fits into. But we can see in this card that there is movement. They are taking literal steps, physical steps towards discovering what this key is for. And in the Queen of Pentacles, they find where that key fits in. I know we don't have the Queen of Pentacles out here, but you got to even start the journey in the damn first place, okay? The Knight of Pentacles, the whole thing with the Knight of Pentacles is, I feel like anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, there is this message about dedicating your time, your resources, your presence to a thing. Also, even getting comfortable with the potential slowness of a thing. Because also sometimes I think that, we equate slowness or delay or, whatever to failure, or like something's not working out because the process is so slow, or the even recognizing any level of growth, like if that is slow, we're like, it's automatically a failure. Because if it was a success, the growth would be rapid. It would be, um, what's the word? Recordable? No. Not manageable. What is a, maybe recordable? Yeah. I don't think that's the word either. I hope you know what I mean, though. Hmm. But again, anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, it's this message about allowing yourself to continue on the journey no matter how slow it is. It's also even that whole, um, the journey is more important than the destination type of thing. Because if we're focused so much on what the destination is, we don't even enjoy the journey for one, or it's, less enjoyable, or basically like it's like this buildup is what I just started hearing in my head. So we have the King of Cups in the reverse. Now, in the upright, in general, kings are the highest expression of the suit. There's a leadership and authority quality to a king. Ricks are overseeing a kingdom. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about our lives, how we feel about what we're doing, how we feel about ourselves and the people around us, our emotional maturity, emotional, like mastery, compassion, empathy, even intuition, too, with this. And we can see, the sea looks crazy. But the king is literally standing on the side of the boat, toes off of the boat even. And, water is sloshing out of their cup. They're just nonchalantly holding onto this rope. To me, there's this like confidence. There's this a surety, a certainty that they're going to get through this storm. And they're at the front of that certainty, right? Like they are the leader, they're the captain of this damn ship, right? So there is this confidence. It's like they've been in these type of, choppy, stormy waters before. They've gotten through it before. They know they're going to get through it again, right? But but it came out in the reverse. All those things I just talked about, it's the opposite of that. So maybe, and again, right? Like this is that feeling of, and especially how do you feel, right? Like if with the King of Cups, the highest expression of the cup suit coming out in the reverse, you don't know. Either you don't know, or it's like you get lost in the emotion of the thing, or even I believe the King of Cups is associated to Pisces. We're in Pisces season. Like I said, Pisces is your sister sign. Maybe you have placements in Pisces in some aspect. Maybe you're even just feeling, like the transits that are happening with Pisces, but it's like I don't even actually know how I feel. So there's this invitation here to get clear on that. Also, even like lean into the uncertainty, because no doubt you have gotten through every worst case scenario you have ever imagined, ever come up against, right? And granted, is it uncomfortable? Yeah. But also, like, what did it teach you? What lesson did you gain? What, even on an emotional level, there's no doubt some level of emotional education, maturing that you received from that thing. So, if there is this feeling of uncertainty, if you're just like, if I can't intuit, if I can't, feel my way through it, then I'm just not even going to do it. Mm-mm. It's 2024. We're not doing that anymore. I mean, we can, right? But all that it's doing is just kind of keeping us like in a loop or preventing us from taking any action. And we have the Eight of Wands, which is all about action forward. Wands have to do with action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? I also see wands as being the suit of information because that is what we get by trying things. What works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like, what fits, what doesn't, what stays, what goes, right? And I 100% believe that the only way that we can figure those things out is by trying things. I can't even tell you how many things I thought up in my head and I was so convinced we're going to go a certain way. And as soon as I started trying it, I was like, oh, it didn't go that way at all. Better, worse, otherwise, right? But again, it was information. It led me to a place of discovering what it is that I do actually like, what does actually work, at least for the time being. The Eight of Wands is fast moving. So it's interesting that we have it next to the slowest card. So it's like, taking these steps forward, even, baby steps, taking steps forward, however that looks like for you, even in the face of, uncertainty, not even being sure how it's going to go, not even being sure how you feel about the thing. And then it's like, there's this, it could even be communication coming in. It's like something that just kind of clicks. And even just this thing of knowing what actions you want to take from there. It's like once you start, then all of these things start showing up for you because I keep like focusing on these birds or these I think they're geese, like those Canadian whatever geese. I know we have those in Colorado even, or anyway. But like they're all going in the same direction. It's like, they know their place, they take their place in this, V that birds make for whatever reason. But they're all going in the same direction. And they'll break off wherever they break off, right? I mean, I don't know if they all stay together until they land on the ground again. But I keep just getting this feeling of like, something clicking. And then it's like all of the energy is just like kind of focused forward. Things start showing up for you, or even pieces, falling into place. And then we have the Two of Wands after that, which, I mean, this person is looking out to the future, right? Mm, mm. What's next? What's coming up? So the Two of Wands is about planning for the future. We start with the Ace of Wands, which I know we don't have that on the table, but we start with the Ace of Wands, which is, that spark. It's something new. Then it's like, all right, what am I going to do with this? Planning, right? It's planning the actions that you're going to take. And especially with it coming after the Eight of Wands and then the King of Cups in the reverse, it could even be those little pivots that I was talking about, or even it like gives you this sense of confidence to where now you're like, okay, what's next? Because in the Three of Wands, your ship is there. Your ship came in. If you're waiting for your ships to come in, this is that energy of, okay, excuse me, once that ship gets here, this is what I'm going to do. And then we end with the Moon card. We actually, so today is the 9th. There's that new moon in Pisces tonight, like overnight. It could be setting intentions, working with some moon magic. This is a card of Cancer, but I've also heard it associated to Pisces, but Cancer just in the sense that Cancer is ruled by the moon. And in astrology, your moon is all about how you feel. It is, like where or how you express emotions, where you feel good. So that's interesting. Even, just the similarities there, but and the tarot card, the moon, speaks to like the unconscious. It's everything has yet to be revealed yet. So it kind of has, maybe secrets or just um not like bad secrets. If it was paired with the 7 of Swords, maybe, but not it's not bad. It's just like all of the information has yet to be revealed for you, which is also too like why it could be paired with the 2 of Wands, because by taking these actions you do get clear on how you feel, and maybe there are things that you start discovering about yourself because now you're looking for those things. You're looking, okay, what plan do I want to come up with? And it's like going within yourself and being like, okay, how do I feel? How would I feel about that thing? Does it feel good for me to take action on that aspect of the thing or not? It's like that Marie Kondo thing too, right? Like what feels good and what doesn't. Do the things that make you feel good, even if they're scary, they don't make sense logically or otherwise, especially for a Virgo. It's literally like pushing past that literal comfort. And also, too, like anytime I see the moon show up at the end of a reading, it's like, what is next or anything further? It's like you have to figure this part out first before those next steps are gonna um, open up or show up for you. You first have to figure this out. And, because again, right, like if we get too future focused, we're not even, what are we doing in the present moment? Are we taking any actions in the present moment, or are we too concerned with the outcome? You know, there is not going to be an outcome ever if we don't take action, if we don't start planning for what actions we're going to take to even have an outcome. So, again, like anytime the moon shows up at the end of the reading, and I feel like 9 times out of 10, if the moon card is on the table, it's either at the end of the reading or at the bottom of the deck. It's like rarely in the middle, never at the beginning. I don't think I've ever seen the moon card at the beginning of a reading. Now it'll probably prove me wrong at some point, but I can't think of a time. So figure this out first. Figure out what you do feel. What are your apples and oranges, right? Recognizing that they're even different. We have the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, which is a card of Leo. This is more about determination, inner strength, perseverance, especially even too like with the Knight of Pentacles, because the Knight of Pentacles also has this like commitment and persistence vibe to it. The Strength card does too, but this is, like real deal for some reason. That's like what I keep thinking. It's like really having that, it's like serious almost. I don't know why. Like that's the best way I can describe it all of a sudden. I don't know. It's like really allowing yourself to be determined, really, like recognizing your own strength too, to see something through. Perfect or not, more than likely it's not going to be. Then we have the Page of Cups. So, we had the King of Cups in the reverse. The Page of Cups is, they're on that same boat, right? But their focus is on this map down here. They still have this cup, the Ace of Cups there, but their focus is on the map. So, the pages are younger, I always call them like the apprentice kind of energies. It's like allowing yourself to be new. Again, even focusing on this destination here, strength, being uber focused. But this is, being led by your heart, being led by how you feel. I feel like I feel like I've beat that proverbial dead horse. So I hope the message is received, and I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.